name is Andres, and I'm going to present to you the short movie John the Vegan, which is a short movie about raising awareness about the environment and plastic pollution in the world. We started by going to LCCS and kind of throughout the weeks collaborating with these two different groups of middle schoolers. I quickly connected with Christian, who is this guy.
Where are you?
Who was always trying to play with the equipment that I brought, and always was doing many different things with the technology that I was bringing. I was very interested in using virtual reality as a medium to create something, and I'm a person who is very theatrical and stuff like that, and so I was, since the beginning, I was iterating ideas about theater, about movies, about this sort of things. And then we had this one day in which we had Post-its and some pencils, and we started passing around ideas, and we started moving and sharing ideas individually with one another. And that day is, well, here's the video example of that day. That was the day when Xavier wrote the idea of John the Vegan. And this dynamic was how we were able to create.
We're going to want to hear your presentation. There you go. Great, thank you.
Anyways, so this is Xavier, and he was the one who came up with the idea of John the Vegan. Here he is.
Okay, John is a vegan, basically, and he doesn't eat fish. Everybody else eats fish that's toxic, that's getting them sick, that turns into zombies. John has to fight them off and save the world. Basically finding a cure and saving the whole entire world.
Finding what kind of a cure?
It can be either the cure can be stopping people from polluting the ocean, like stopping the major factories, or he can find a cure by actually just finding a solution to all of this. Okay.
So we had an idea, right? And we already had this story of John the Vegan by this amazing kid Xavier, and we had some sort of time issues, and we weren't able to connect with the class for like 2 or 3 weeks. And in that meantime, I went to Mexico in my spring break, and I visited schools, and I was doing some research for my thesis, which was also doing videos in VR. And I got really inspired by these girls, and when I came back, we started just creating characters. This was a dynamic that I did in Mexico about creating characters and improvisation, and so that's when we started iterating and prototyping our own different characters. And that's when each of the kids that were in the John the Vegan group, because we needed to rush, we needed to start hurrying in the process of creating, we started just creating our own personal characters for the story. We had this story, now who were we within this story? Who am I in this story, and what is my importance within this story? So we created villains and the good guys who were saving the world. This is a quick video of the process. It's a non-edited raw out of the 360 gear camera. We won't see it because of time, but that's just a video of us iterating different characters and different personalities of characters, and that was the day when we finally developed our characters. And then with those characters, we created the movie. And we already had the characters, and as you can see, they were like either superheroes or villains of the story, and the kids really knew well the story, and they knew it was a really short, weird story about just saving the world from plastic zombies. And so the idea was to create something out of our characters, and knowing the story, we were going to improvise in front of the camera with our characters, sort of what the story does. And because of time, we didn't have like a lot of time, but we were able to have two very good sets for the movie, which allowed for good improvisation and a good final piece. This was one of the sets, which was their theater in the school. And as you can see, Christian was always the cameraman. He was very excited about that. And the kids were always very participative in the moment of making the movie. Before, they were kind of not really wanting to participate. Jeet and Veer, who are these twins, they were like, I don't want to act, I don't want to be anything. But as soon as I brought the camera and they had already their characters, they got themselves in character, and they were actually the most participative ones. The other part of the set, which was Pollution's Empire, and we were able to get a really cool, scary and dark place to represent pollution and plastic. Yeah, and later after we filmed the movie, we needed to create something for people to get interested in the movie. So we started doing posters, and this was my idea of a poster. And then Ivy, the amazing graphic designer, came up with more posters that are cooler, and like they really represent what we wanted to do, like an action movie to raise awareness about pollution today, and about how there is an evil in this world, which is pollution, and we can be the good ones. We can choose the world we would like to live in, right? And that was the main learning of this whole experience. For me, I really learned to work with kids, first off, but I also really learned that they really care. They really care about the environment, and they really care about saying something about it. And even though this wasn't really like a Hollywood movie, that they know that they can do something, and they know that they can start with at least something. And this, I hope, is an inspiration for me, for the students, and for everyone here too, to start raising awareness about these things that are in the world, good and evil, and pollution, and what little things we can do to start changing the world. And lastly, for our presentation in Earth Day, we had a couple ID cards for each character. Each superhero or villain had their own card with their personality and their skills and their habitat, and then some facts about pollution that they could tell the people in the presentation of Earth Day. These are the villains. And this was Earth Day. As you can see, Aiden, who was the character of Pollution, he was the most excited about presenting the project, and he was always wearing the mask and being funny, being silly, pulling people to our booth. And it was really interesting because VR is not a thing that is very popular today, and people were more curious about VR rather than the movie itself, but about the Google Cardboard, and to see, and the kids really wanted to see the movie, but the adults were more curious about the Google Cardboard. And that was interesting to me as well, to learn about VR and how VR is being received by masses, right, or perceived. And lastly, we had the movie, and it was a success. Everyone that saw it got the gist of it, got that it was a student movie, and and it was supposed to do that, to raise awareness on the environment and to be funny and to really help the kids acknowledge that they can say something, that they can do something, about a problem. And I was lucky to have used VR and this 360 camera because it really helped me get the kids into it and get them to participate more. And it also helped me to demonstrate a new medium and like demonstrate new things that we can do with different things in education. And I really think that VR is moving in quickly and exponentially into education, and the more we do, the faster we do, the better it's going to be quicker. And in the end, this project was really an inspiration for my thesis project,
Contaminate the water!
which...
What? Contaminate the water with your spawn! I will contaminate the water with grass!
And my thesis project
Contaminate!
is a kit, which is like a video, a
Why do we
board
have
game
plants in here?
for kids to make their own VR movies or learning experiences or whatever they want to make. But it's supposed to help them have fun with it and to play.
We are police! Let's get out of here now!
Yeah, as you can
Let's
see,
have a look around!
we were having fun all the time.
Let's go! And we can
And yeah,
do the plan and
that's it.
you guys fire me.
Thank you.